Hello everyone. Let's start with JavaScript variable. We'll demonstrate you how we can use. So here I've written one HTML file. This is the structure script folder, style folder, index.htm outside in this variable folder, and script.js in the script folder. Okay. Then here we have a script.js file that I've linked here, and we'll use default so that it will execute after all the HTML content get loaded, as we are not dealing anything inside the body with JavaScript, but still we are using the default. Then next here is our script.js file. So let's start. Now we have this where roll number and name equals to Ravi variable that we have declared. Now we'll show you how these two variables, these two keywords where and lets are different. So here is the browser window, and you have to press Ctrl+Shift+I so that it will open the terminal. And here I've used one example. So let me just delete this one and comment this one. Okay. Let's reload. Yeah. Now we have variable number and name. So here in terminal also, let me increase the size. If we type roll number, so I will get that roll number as it's not defined or it's not initialized. So it says that it's undefined. Okay. Then next here, if again I'm going to use name, so it will give me the value stored in that name variable. So this console is synced with the JavaScript code. Okay, so let's start. What is the difference between these two variables? First we'll start with roll number. So let's say roll number is not defined, not initialized, so let me initialize the roll number 10. Now here I'm going to use this only console.log, and if I say roll number here, okay, so let me execute. Now you will see that the value of roll number is 10. Now if we use the console.log after or before initializing the variable, now you can see here first it says it's undefined and then the value of roll number we are getting here. Okay, so let me change this order now. I will take it this one and this one at here, and let again rerun this. Now you'll see variable roll number 10. We have, without using a var keyword, we have declared a variable here, and when we are printing it on console it gives us a value 10. Now again we have re-declared a variable using var keyword, and we are not initializing it, and when we are trying to print it, still it will give me a value 10. So this var is associated with a global variable, and here we can see how that it is associated. Console.log, then window.roll number. So if I again rerun this, so you can see here this roll number is associated with the window, that is the global reference. Okay, so let me continue with this. Now here we have declared roll number, let's say name Ravi, and here we have declared another variable, that is name, variable name is Ravi. Now let me again, if I again here, let's say name is equals to Ravi, and let me print this console.log, and here name, and after that let me duplicate this and print it here. So if I rerun this, now you can see uncaught reference cannot access name before initialization. Okay, so here at line number 10 you can see we are accessing a name variable without initializing it. So you can see here when we have declared a roll number 10, and when we have used it, it shows no error here. Okay, then we have again reuse here roll number 10, then it's again displaying it and with window dot roll number. Now what happened here, named equals to roll number. So when browser compile this or interpret this, so here it knows that the name is associated with the let keyword, and you cannot use that name variable without initializing it. Okay, so that's why we are getting this error even we have initialized it and we have not declared it. So here the error is cannot access name before initialization at line number 10. So why this behavior is? This is just because of this let variable. So let uncomment this, and again if we rerun, then we will get the output, because we have now not the variable name is not associated with that let keyword. So let again rerun and we'll see that error. So we cannot we cannot redeclare a variable name with the same name. So let me change this order, and here it will become let. Again, if I rerun this, uncaught identifier name has already been declared, so you cannot declare a variable with same name. So if again rerun here, so you will get the output Ravi Ravi at boot time. Now let's see again for the window, that's global scope for let variables. So here if I say name, so again if we see here, so you can see still we are getting that name variable using the let keyword as it's associated within the global scope. Okay, so that's all about the let and var variable. Let's take another example of this. Let me uncomment this. Yeah. Now here, if you take another example, so in this example, you can see here uh, that we have a for loop, and in that for loop, we are using var and initializing it to 0, and I less than, let's take it to 5, less than, yeah, 5, then I plus plus. So this is how we can declare a for loop here. Then next here, where I equals to 0, I less than 5. Now there's a function called set timeout. That function is taking two arguments. So the set timeout function is used to call a function after a specific time. So let's say I'm going to use one function here, and that function I'm going to declare it like this, and this function will be called after 1 second. Okay, so what we are going to do in this function, let's say console.log, and here I'm going to print the value of I. Okay, now we are using this var variable. Let's run this. So if you run this here, after 1 second you can see 5 times 5. Okay, so it's not going to say it's not going to print 0 1 2 3 4 5. It's going to print 5. After it's terminated, the value of I is 5. So this is happening just because when we are using a var variable and it's bound to the global scope, so every time when the function is going to access this I variable, it will print the final value of that I variable. Okay, so here instead of var I, if we are going to use let. Okay, so if we rerun this, now you can see what is the value. So by using let, as it's not associated with the global scope, here 0 1 2 3 4, we are getting the output. So every time when this function will be called after 1 second, so this loop has completed, and whatever the value we have assigned here, that is going to be passed to this function. So that's the difference between var and var and the let variable. Okay, now let's take another example of how we can declare a variable. So let's say let underscore abc. So if I'm going to declare a variable at underscore abc, we are not having any error, but it will create a confusion between the JavaScript inbuilt underscore variables. So here if I say underscore abc, so if we rerun this, we'll get the value of abc. Okay, so there are some functions inside the JavaScript and the properties are there which are declared with underscore. So that's why it's recommended you cannot use that and start a variable with underscore. Okay, then next let me declare another variable, let a be 9abc. So as we have already told you, if you are using this variable line abc and let initialize with 9abc, so this will generate an error. So by using like this, or by using a var variable, it's going to generate the error. Okay, even if I run this here, so uncaught syntax invalid or unexpected token at line number 30. So here at line number 30, you can see that we are facing an error by declaring a variable that start with a digit. So you cannot declare a variable name with digit. So let's see the another cases. As we have already told you, when we are going to declare a variable, you have to give some meaningful name. So let here student name is equals to so here from the variable name itself we came to know that this variable is referring this referring student name. Okay, so that's it. Ravi Yadav. Yeah, then we have already seen all the types of variable here. We have declared a roll number. Again, if I say var x equals to always use let, so let's start with using a let always. Let x equals to 10 and let y equals to 6.5. So these are the number of variables. We'll just see here. Let me print here. So here we can see console.log x and let's say whether it's take to value or not. So just go here and run. Yeah, we can print two values. So here you can see 10 and 6.5. So let also print along with these values type of and x. So let's see here type of access number, and again here also we can check type of y. So again it's a number. Okay, so we can even try it here also, we'll get the value of it. Okay, next we have seen string variable. So already we have declared here a string variable. Then also we have seen booleans. Okay, so is digit. Okay, so here we can check whether it is a digit or not. So there is an inbuilt method called is nan and let's say 6. So if we run this and see the output, console.log, and here is digit, we are going to exit it, and here if I rerun this, then it will say false. So is digit is nan is not a number. So 6 is not a number, that's false. Yeah, it's not a number. So instead of, let's say if we have written abc and then run, so it will give us a true value. So this is how we can store a boolean variable. Then let's say talk about the objects. So here let's declare an object student and this will be the student object, and inside this object I'm going to store roll number of the student. So here we have to use colon, and let's say 1, then name of the student, so Ravi, then class, so maybe the class is let's see, is ty. Okay, so how to access those variable? Console.log and student dot let's say class. So if we go here and run, so we'll get the class. Also that class, by mentioning the class, it will make a confusion, so we'll use year. Also it will no problem, we'll use that. Okay, so same, we are getting that. Also we can print it like this, student dot roll number. So if we run here, ty1. Okay, so by this you can access this, or even using a square bracket you can access it. So you have to put this year in curly braces and the double quotes. So if we again rerun, still we are getting the output. Okay, so by using object we can declare a variable like this, object like this, and these are the property of this object, these are the value, and we are accessing by using dot and by using a square bracket. Let's say the next topic that we have seen is an array. So let me declare one array, let arr, and it has 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 5. So this is an array, and console dot log and arr 9. So let's say out of index what we are going to get it here, we are getting undefined, as nothing is defined at index 9, so it's not generating any exception here. But if we give a specific value, let's say 4, so here we'll get the final value of 5, and at index 0 we'll see here, so at index 0 we are storing 1 value. So this is an array. Now as I've already told you that in JavaScript there is no type of the variable, so here we have declared that as a array. Now I'm going to change it here, and let's say I'm going to call it array here. Now again, if I copy this and use it here, so let's see what is the output, a, as it's in string, and again we can iterate the string, so it will accessing a 0 location of this string, so we are getting 0 at arr 0 is an array. So if I just say like this, then it will give us a complete string array. And also if here we are going to say like this, then it will give us a complete array. Yeah. Okay, so in array also, if there are some functions that you can use, if I say toString, then let's see, what's a toString method? So it gives array element by comma separated values. Okay, so this is all about array. Now let's declare some const. So in the earlier version of JavaScript it's not supported, it's supported in the ES6. Okay, and let me declare a variable called seed as equals to 10, and let's say console.log and print the value of seed. So this will give us a value of seed here 10, and let's try to modify the value of seed, and again we'll see what will the output of that seed variable. So let's rerun this, and here uncaught type error assignment to a constant variable at line number 65. So here we cannot change the constant variable. Okay, then Yeah, so that's it for this session. See you in the next session.